Today on the CTV News at 5, the children of a missing Fort Macleod couple are asking for help finding their parents. Plus, a murder trial in the death of a man in the Crow's Nest Pass over 2 years ago is finally underway. And
we're going to see more and more investment in renewable energy.
we'll tell you what Brian Mason's NDP are promising for Lethbridge if they're elected to power.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. The children of a missing Fort Macleod couple are asking anyone with information on their parents' whereabouts to please contact RCMP. Jaap and Anya Oosterwijk didn't return from a day trip to the Fernie area Saturday. And today our Alicia Fieldberg met with family and friends who are searching for them. We'll have that story in just a moment. But first, meanwhile, Calgary police are also looking for a missing person. 51-year-old Dallas George Brinkley left the Peter Lougheed Hospital on Thursday and hasn't been heard from since. Barkley has dementia and gets confused with directions. He was last seen wearing a blue Bing Bong sweatshirt and jeans. If you know where he is, you're urged to contact police. And RCMP are investigating the death of an elderly Cranbrook man stemming from an altercation at a seniors care facility last month. The 82-year-old man was visiting a family member back on March 28th when he got into a conversation with a 61-year-old resident of the facility who was pushed backwards onto the floor and injured his hip. The victim underwent surgery following the incident but died April the 9th. The BC Coroner's Service and RCMP are investigating. They say all of the findings will now be sent to the Cranbrook Crown Council to determine if any charges at all should be laid. Lethbridge RCMP believe that alcohol was a factor in a crash that sent 2 women to hospital, one with serious injuries. Just after 10 a.m. Sunday, emergency crews responded to a single vehicle rollover on Westside Drive, about a kilometer north of the city. Investigators say the SUV hit the ditch and then rolled, throwing one woman from the car. She was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The other woman in the car was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. And a murder trial is now underway for a Fort Macleod man charged with stabbing death that occurred in the Crow's Nest Pass 2.5 years ago. Derek Plourd's trial is being held in Lethbridge Court of Queen's Bench. It's expected to take about 5 days. Plourd has pleaded not guilty to a charge of second-degree murder. The charge stems from a fight on a rural property west of Coleman back in September of 2009. George English of Brockett died from stab wounds. Plourd's lawyer, Greg White, says the defense will raise the question of whether Plourd acted out of self-defense. One of the big stories that's up also talking about right now, the weather, Dory Rossiter. And we're going to see a wild mix of things in the next few days. There will be some sun, some cloud, maybe some showers, and maybe some flurries.
Yeah, I know. It's April. What can I tell you? It's that month of transition from winter into spring, and we have this kind of up and down weather pattern. Happens year after year after year, and it's happening this week. So a little bit of everything, mostly because of systems that are building on the BC coast, moving across from west to east. I'll take you through it all in a couple of minutes.
Dory, we're glad you're on top of it. Now we go back to the story of Alicia Fieldberg told us about Jaap and Anya Oosterwijk, the missing Fort Macleod couple who haven't been seen since they went to Fernie on a day trip over the weekend.
Me and my 6 siblings want to ask for help in finding our parents.
The Oosterwijk family are continuing as normal because they're hopeful someone will come forward with information that may help them find their parents. Jaap and Anya left for a day trip to Fernie Saturday around 11:30 and were supposed to be back by 6 that evening. Nobody's heard from them since they left their house that morning in their green Honda CR-V. RCMP don't suspect suspicious circumstances but do have an ongoing investigation, as well as a search team including helicopters in both Alberta and BC.
This is a couple who's never been known to go missing like that. It does worry us greatly.
The family is originally from the Netherlands but moved to Fort Macleod with 6 of their 7 children, partly because Jaap and Anya love the mountains. They've only been in the town about 2 years but have already made strong connections, including at their church.
Great family. Kids are just amazing, and we miss them. We just want them back.
When Alliance Church members learned the couple was missing, they began volunteering to make meals and spend time with the kids. Many people also traveled to Pincher Creek to join a search team that started Sunday.
The kids play all together. They're from the same areas where we came from Holland too. But yeah, that doesn't matter. Even if they would from a different country, I think you would start helping anyway.
Monday morning, Pincher Creek activated its municipal emergency plan. This means the municipal district will support the team to bring in resources. This could include several trained searchers.
The team started with 4 trained searchers coordinating the 140 volunteers to comb highways and back roads with vehicles and ATVs. They've also set up search bases in McGrath and Sparwood. Organizers appreciate all of the help, but say it's important to make sure everyone is safe and working as a team.
Search is actually a bit of a science, and it's important to make sure we've got everything documented.
The Oosterwijk family are overwhelmed by the community support and hope to see their parents again soon.
Everybody's praying for us, and we know God, well, He knows where they are, and we're going to find them.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Fort Macleod.
Search and rescue officials say they have enough trained people available right now and don't require any other volunteers at this point. But they are urging people to keep their eyes open. Anyone who thinks that they saw either the couple or their green Honda CR-V in southern Alberta is being urged to contact Fort Macleod RCMP or call 911. To the election trail now, where if elected, the Alberta New Democrats say they'll push for creation of a renewable energy resource centre in Lethbridge. NDP leader Brian Mason made the announcement while campaigning in Lethbridge this morning. He says the NDP will create a renewable development fund and invest $50 million over the next 3 years to establish the centre. He says the facility would be actively involved in doing research into renewable energy and help commercialize projects to boost the southern Alberta economy.
In the future, we're going to see more and more investment in renewable energy. That's already happening in other parts of the world. Lethbridge is ideally suited because of its ample sunshine, because of the wind energy that it has, because it's a center of the feedlot industry. There's tremendous opportunities for biomass projects, and it has strong post-secondary institutions.
Now, Mason also got an endorsement today from former Lethbridge Mayor Bob Tarlick. And Tarlick says he didn't plan to get involved in the campaign, but was moved to action by the Wild Rose position on 4 issues, including funding cuts to core women's health programs and greater privatization of health care. Meanwhile, the Alberta Liberal leader, Ross Sherman, was in southern Alberta this weekend with stops in Medicine Hat in Lethbridge.
You want private health care? Don't vote for the Liberals. You want your health care based on...
Ross Sherman announced a plan to reduce power bills, and he says Liberals would change the rules, greatly increasing penalties for utility companies that break the law and cause price increases. And he also says people should be allowed to lock in longer-term contracts at lower rates.
An Alberta Liberal government would increase the time frame that utilities can buy electricity in 1 year to 1 year, allowing them to lock in savings and pass them on to you, the consumer, the customer, and the taxpayer.
Sherman says deregulation of electricity has not been accompanied by the promised reduction in prices. And voters in the Little Bow riding will get a chance to hear from their candidates both tonight and tomorrow night. Tonight from 7 until 9, an election forum will be held at the Coaldale Community Centre. Tuesday night, another one is being held for the riding at the Vauxhall Legion Hall, again from 7 until 9. A member of Alberta's Specialized Prosecution Unit is urging parents to become more vigilant to help protect children from sexual exploitation. Crown Prosecutor Nadine Nesbitt specializes in child pornography cases for Alberta Justice. She says the cases are often difficult to investigate because the victims can't be easily identified or the offenders may be in another province or even another country. Nesbitt says parents need to pay attention to what their children are doing and who they're talking to online.
Parents need to be vigilant about their children and what they're doing on the internet and who they're talking to on the internet. If you have the internet and a webcam, you've just invited the entire world into your home. And if that computer is in your child's bedroom, you've just invited the entire world into your child's bedroom. You need to know what your kids are doing and who they're talking to online.
Nesbitt says Alberta Justice takes child pornography very seriously and has specialized units to catch and prosecute adults who prey on children. If you're traveling in the Pincher Creek area, expect some traffic delays over the next several weeks. 4 highways in that area will be under repair starting today until June 10th, but road work will only be done on 1 highway at a time. Portions of Highway 6, 510, 785, and 507. A reminder that fines for speeding double in construction zones when workers are present. And on the markets today, another down day for the dollar after a slight rebound. Here are the closing numbers.